Howdy folks, BoDean 52, hope you are well. Is it possible to take that lift and that dolly and lift that 950-pound motorcycle plus and roll it around my garage? I'm not so sure, but we're going to find out right now. Let's roll. Well, I wasn't going to show you the installation of the Let's Roll motorcycle dolly and lift because it is so simple, but at least let me show you what comes in the boxes. First of all, this is actually the scissor lift itself. Comes with this bolt, which you're going to need a 7/8 deep socket and ratchet to turn, as well as some grease that you put on it that first time, or if it ever gets too tight, you'll want to go ahead and grease it there as well. It comes with both of these two crossbars, and you can see the material on both the crossbar and the lift is really super nice. Comes with all the instructions, come with all the bolts and washers and nuts that you need, and it comes with 4 casters that go on the dolly, which is right here. Again, I don't have this together just because I wanted to show you this. 2 of these have brakes on them, 2 of them do not. These things are super heavy duty. Matter of fact, the whole unit's pretty heavy duty. So I'm excited about that. I think it's going to be super easy. I think it's a 5-minute put together. But let's go ahead and I'm going to get this thing together and then let's get it under a bike. Okay, folks, before we get going with the demonstration of this Let's Roll dolly and lift, I wanted you to know a couple things. One is, number one, this was sent to me free of charge for review, not for advertisement, not to tell everybody that it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, because if you know me, you're going to hear the good and the bad, and I think there is good and not so good about this lift, so you're going to hear it like it is. But a few quick things that I wanted to go over from a technical perspective before I get going. Number one is, this is kind of an upgraded lift from the one that they've had before. It lets the bike sit an inch higher when it's on the dolly, which makes it easier to roll if you're rolling it like out of your garage. It makes it a little easier if you're sitting on a seat doing tire work, and it makes it easier if you are one of those cool cats that have the bigger wheels, which I am not. But just some specifics. First thing is, the scissor part of this thing does have some pinch points. So when you're picking that thing up, just make sure you got it and you don't pinch your fingers, because that would stink. It lifts capacity is 1,100 pounds. My bike that we're gonna lift now is 950, 960. So we're gonna test that out, right? Don't use an impact wrench on this thing. You can use a drill. I just kind of did it with a ratchet, and I will definitely show you that. Obviously, only use it on a level floor. I don't need to tell you that, right? And you gotta make sure that you find the weight distribution, which is in the middle of the motorcycle. And if you don't know that for your bike, you should find out what that is anyway, regardless of what jack or lift or dolly or anything that you put under the motorcycle. And make sure that you're lifting this only for a bike that's meant to be lift between the 2 wheels. As an example, this KLR 650 will not work with this lift. If you go to their site, you're gonna see a little link there that'll show you, put your bike in, it'll tell you if it fits or not. So let's get at it. Let's start the review. Alrighty, as I showed you all of what comes with the Let's Roll Cruiser lift and dolly, this is the dolly portion of it. Obviously, this is the lift. 7/8 inch socket to go ahead and get this thing up in the air, and I'll show you how to do that here as well. This is the cruiser lift itself. I told you that these wheels are solid, and this thing is rock solid. I mean, in addition to the nice felt and stuff that's on the top of this to protect the bike, this thing is really solid. This is going to be put under the bike after you have the lift up, and it is going to be from the left side of the bike as you're sitting in, or as you're sitting on it. So that is the clutch side. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing moved over to the other side. I'm going to go ahead and put the scissor lift in the center of my motorcycle, and then I'm going to show you what's next. Okay, so I have put the scissor lift underneath the motorcycle, centered to the weight distribution, have my ratchet on here. One of the things that I like to do is go to the other side of the motorcycle, which is the side we're actually going to put the dolly in, just to make sure that it is centered as well. and that the bike will lift straight up. Going to make sure that we have the motorcycle gear and the wheels straight. Let's get lifting. As you start lifting up, you're going to see the motorcycle is straightening up. Some folks will do this with a drill. My preference is to not, and you never use an impact drill for this, by the way, which is what's suggested. So I am just go ahead and getting to where the motorcycle is just straightened up and off the ground enough I can move the front wheel straight. And I'm going to do a walk around and check the other side just to make sure we're okay. Yep, looks awesome. Alrighty, so we have the bike lifted off the ground. A little pro tip as you learn your first time. As you're lifting the bike, just kind of do a check as you get it up a little bit. Make sure that the bike is not leaning one way or the other. Once you get in the right spot, piece of cake. All right, we're going to come over to the other side, and we're going to roll this dolly in. It's going to go on this side of the kickstand. I want to make sure that that's a little bit centered. Then I'm going to take one of the wheels. I'm going to lock it down. Then I'm going to go to the other side and do the same thing. And lock this one down. So we are now taking the lift portion out of the motorcycle. And now it is sitting just on the dolly. Wow, does that feel solid? All right, let's go ahead and get the safeties off the wheels. See if this thing does what it's supposed to. Alrighty, folks, my better half, Mrs. BoDean, has agreed to demonstrate, actually very reluctantly, the Let's Roll dolly and lift and how easy it is to move it around. So, Mrs. BoDean, roll that bike. Wow, 950 plus pound bike. How difficult was it to move around?
Not at all.
Do you love me?
Yes, I
Am I fantastic?
You're awesome.
Do you want to be on future videos?
Of course.
Do you think people should buy this lift and dolly?
Yes.
Okay, the pros and cons. And there's just one con. It is $625. Now, there are some discounts, I think, for veterans. Again, I'll link the description, or link in the description, the site you can go look at. But I will tell you what, you're going to buy one or two other lifts, in my opinion, that are not going to be anywhere close to the quality of this. You're going to get them from Harbor Freight. They're not going to work right. You're not going to trust them. You're going to get rid of them. You're going to go through a couple of them. And by the time you do, you're going to be at $625. So if you want to make an investment on something I think is going to last you forever, this con really isn't a con. So the pros, really pretty simple to me. There's three of them. Number one, this is a quality product. It's made well, it's made strong, it's made in the USA, which I like. And I'll tell you what, you're going to have this thing for life. Number two is, if you're looking for something to move around your garage, turn the bike around, store it up against the wall, this thing is for you. And number three is, if you really want something that can get the bike off the ground so you can spend some time either doing some minor maintenance or cleaning up or cleaning the bike like I'm going to want to use it for, this fits. Okay, folks, my overall recommendation on this thing is it is a good purchase. You know, I don't say that easily, but the things that this thing can do, multiple functions, the quality of it, and something that you're going to have for all your life, just means to me that it is a good investment. There's no doubt to that. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments, or send me a private message. I have an Instagram account that goes by BoDean52 as well. Be glad to help you out. I'll leave all the details of their site and information and some linked videos in the description so you can go check it out yourself. If you're first time to the channel, Thank you for stopping in. Hopefully this was helpful to you. Spend some time looking at some other videos if you don't mind, because I do a lot of gear reviews, touring this great country, spending time with friends, and mostly the motorcycle on the road, which is what I like doing the most. And you met her earlier. Riding with Mrs. BoDean is one of my favorite things. And yeah, she made me say that. Be careful out there. Be safe, folks. Check on a friend, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.